welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven, and with me today is not Jerry, but Jason Hewitt from Pancaked, the Pancaked Podcast. He's here.
Woo. Hello. Surprise,
Welcome.
surprise. We're here. The invasion has begun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining me today.
Man, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. It's good to be back. You already know I'm a big friend of the show, big fan of the show as well.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back, man. Let's talk Panthers, man.
Let's do it, man. I mean, 2-0, right?
No.
Let's just start off by asking, like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about this team? I mean, obviously we're all super excited, but you're looking at it from, a former player's perspective and, a professional's perspective. So how are you feeling about the team?
Honestly, like, it scares me because it's the Panthers, yo. Like, we know how the Panthers are. They trick us.
Yeah.
They trick us. They did it last year. They tricked us
3-2 last year. Yep.
And so they look really, really solid. And, like, it scares me because Darnold looks solid. The O-line, like, it could be better. But, I mean, like, I thought the O-line was going to be a lot worse than how it's performed so far. The defense, oh, man, the defense. I love watching the defense, man. We smash heads. We move around. We get turnovers. We do we generate pressure. We get sacks. Like, everything you need to do as a defense, this defense is done. And I've just been so impressed, man. So it's excitement, but also, like, I'm a little cautious as well because it's the Panthers.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, I'm very excited, of course. Panthers fans, we're going to the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl. All right. That's how we feel. That's how we should feel. But when you look at it, from the perspective of, it was the Jets, it was the Saints with missing half their coaching staff and all that, which I think is a little overblown, but, they looked great against the Saints. I'm taking nothing away from them against the Saints. And now we've got the Texans, who we're going to talk about here, that are starting David Mills at quarterback. Davis Mills. I don't even know his name. Davis Mills at quarterback.
Oh, man. I know about Davis Mills because he's from the greater Atlanta area, and I'm from the greater Atlanta area as well. So, like, he came up, like, a little – he's obviously younger than me because he's, young. But I still know of him. So, it's surprising to see the Panthers play against him. So, it's pretty crazy.
Well, Rule was talking today about that they know a little bit about him because they scouted him pretty hard in the offseason, looking at the draft. And, of course, the Texans drafted him. So the Panthers have a little bit of knowledge about him. But, it's just the things seem to be really falling correctly for the Panthers so far early this season in terms of getting teams that, we got Zach Wilson his very first start. We got the Saints with all their problems. And now we've got Davis Mills, his very first start.
Right.
Things are really, is it smoke and mirrors? Right. Is it real? And let's look at the injury reports here. For the Panthers, Pat Elflein just mentioned on IR. Gross Matos on the injury report did not practice yesterday or today. Probably not going to play. Sounds like. Cam Irving. This is going to be a theme, right? There's a lot of offensive linemen on this list. Cam Irving, limited practice yesterday, did practice fully today, so I think we're good with him. Morgan Fox, defensive end, limited practice both days. Rule said he thinks he'll play.
He's going to play. He's going to play.
Dennis Daly on the list, full practice yesterday. No practice designation today, so I'm going to assume probably full practice today. Taylor Moton, the same thing on the report, but no designation today. And Giovanni Ricci, Tommy Tremble, both on the report, both full practice today. So really not a bad injury report. I mean, I know we're only 3 weeks into the season, but we've only lost one guy so far, really. So looking at the Texans, of course, Tyrod Taylor not going to play, already ruled out. Danny Amendola did not practice. Nico Collins did not practice yesterday. Again, no practice designation today for him. But all the rest of these guys did not practice. Terrence Mitchell with a concussion. Camus Grugler Hill, linebacker. And Justin Reed did not practice. That's a big one. And then, of course, they've got Deshaun Watson on the injury report, but we all know why he's not.
Yeah, come on now. Let's not do that, man.
Right.
Let's not play with these people, man.
Yeah, we know why he's not practicing.
Yeah, we ain't got to go down that route.
Right. And we won't. We're not going to talk Deshaun. We've talked Deshaun Watson way too much for so many different reasons over the past, 6 months or so. Nothing new to report there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, Tyrod Taylor had looked pretty good. Looked really good actually for the first, game and a half. I've always liked Tyrod Taylor. Just never seemed to really get a chance.
Yeah.
Always getting replaced by a rookie, it seems like.
Basically, he's like a better he's like that Alex Smith Teddy tier, but I'm not gonna disrespect him by comparing him to Teddy. So he's like
we'll have to talk about Teddy a little bit later.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyrod's like I don't even know who you would compare him to. Maybe Teddy, but can run a little bit. I mean, that's
I don't even want to. He's like, he has a better arm than Teddy in my opinion.
Yeah.
He can launch it a little bit.
Yeah. So like we said, Davis Mills gonna start here. Don't know a ton about him. I mean, you probably know more about him than anybody, just kind of growing up in that area. What should we expect from Davis Mills? Anything? He didn't look very good in his piece of the game last week.
Can I be like honest with you?
Yeah.
I think this defense is going to tear him apart.
Yeah.
I think this defense is going to tear him apart, and I think he's going to have a disastrous game. I really do. If the defense that played against Jameis shows up in the same form, man, like I see like a 3 interception game, maybe no touchdown. That's how badly I see him because like Amendola's out too. And we saw how physical this defense is. So they're going to be smacking heads too. It's going to be a Thursday game. Guys are going to be tired, not going to want to play. It's Thursday night. You have the light shining on you. You're playing against this hot track team. It's a perfect storm for a beatdown, and I'm so excited. Excited.
I mean, just looking at the game last week against the Texans, Houston was right in that game at halftime, 14-14. Tyrod looked pretty good. He was 10 for 11, 125 yards and a touchdown. Also had a rushing touchdown, 1 for 15 yards and a rushing touchdown. Davis Mills comes in 8 for 18, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, QBR of 10. They ended up they lose by 10. So he doesn't even have a full week to prepare for this team for his first start. I mean,
first start.
Things are lining up poorly for him.
It's not looking great for him. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I said what I said. Listen, we see what we see. And you have a QBR of 10 going up against this deep. Listen, the Browns defense, let's just be honest. The Browns defense, the Browns in general are super impressive. Yeah. So let's not take any credit away from them. But at the same time, you got to go from them to the Panthers. I'm sorry, bro.
On a short week. Yeah.
It's gonna be a rough night for them.
Well, Vegas seems to agree. My bookie has the Panthers favored by 7.5. The Panthers were underdogs by 4.5 at home last week. Now they are favored by 7.5 on the road this week. That's a swing of 1 week. That's 12 points or 11 points.
Crazy.
I mean, that doesn't happen very often. And I know it's Davis Mills. I know, that plays a large role, but I don't remember the Panthers being favored on the road by 7.5 points in a long time against anybody.
I haven't seen the Panthers receive this much love from the media in a while, to be honest with you. I'm looking on ESPN, they're talking about the Panthers. I'm looking on FS1, they're talking about the Panthers. Pancake, we always talk about the Panthers because we show love to the cats on here. But
so do we.
yes. And so like just seeing the Panthers everywhere, it makes me a little nervous because like, what if that trap game comes and it's like, oh, they were never real, they're pretenders, this and that, and I'm really not trying to hear that, you know? So
yeah. Well, Matt Rule, I watched his press conference today, and he basically said the same thing. He was like, we're 2-0. If this is the most impressive win we have at the end of the year, then we have failed. You know, basically talking about last week. So I like that. I like hearing that.
Love that.
They're not drinking their own Kool-Aid at the moment. So that's good to hear. Let's talk about some of these matchups. So we sort of talked about Panthers pass rush versus the rookie QB. I mean, Reddick, I was a little hesitant about Reddick. Coming, like, I love the deal. It was a no-brainer to bring him in, especially at that price. But I didn't know if he was going to be the 12 sack guy like he was last year, because he had most of those in one game,
Yeah.
And he was really strong down the stretch, but they have him playing, I guess, in the right system, in the right spots. He is dominant. He and Burns on the other side are there. It's scary. Is there a better tandem in the league right now off the edge?
Oh, no.
Is there a better tandem? I don't know if there's a better. There might be a tandem that's as good.
I'm trying to think because like I don't want to sit up here and say this and then like people coming, oh, what about Sellers? Honestly, like,
look, they're leading the league in sacks right now, and we're just two weeks in. We're not saying this is going to be. These are the guys, for the rest of the season. But right now, I don't know anybody that's playing better as a tandem.
Like as a complete unit. Yeah. Panthers are number one right now for me anyway. I mean, all
the stats agree.
Like stats favor us. So.
Yeah, they're number one in sacks. They're number one in points allowed. They're number one in yards allowed, passing and rushing. I mean, everything is coming up Panthers right now. So, there's going to be people that listen to this and say, homers, whatever. Right. But we got the numbers to back us up right now. So say what you want, because I think after this game, those numbers are only going to be going up, baby. Like that's, talk to me after the Cowboys game, maybe. But after this game, we're still looking pretty good, I think.
And for those who are listening, like, I'm not like the typical like Panthers optimist at all. Like most of the time I'm the pessimist, really. I'm like, oh, the O-line stinks, so that's why we're going to lose this game, or our secondary is not that good, so that's why we're going to get torched for 300 plus yards. Like, but now it's looking up and it's like, it's confusing me, man. It's confusing me. So
we can see.
I gotta wait for the test game. Let me look at this schedule and see what the test game is going to be, because obviously the Texans, we're going to talk about it, but they're no test at all. I think going to be even worse than the Saints.
Yeah. We'll get to our predictions a little later on, but I have a feeling that we're on the same page here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say Dallas would be really the test.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. That's going to be the first test, I think, the first real test. Looking at the O-line for the Texans, you've got, Laramie Tunsil, Marcus Cannon, Max Sharping, Justin Britt, Titus Howard. That's kind of their starters. Any of those guys scare you? Should any of those guys worry us when we hope to see this defense dominate again?
I'm curious to see the Tunsil matchup between, I guess, Reddick or Burns, but honestly, we saw what they did to Armstead. So if they did that to Armstead, I think very highly of Armstead. I think Armstead is borderline top 5 tackle period in the league, left or right, doesn't matter. I think Armstead is very solid. Yeah. And them boys put work on him this past summer. So
the Saints are considered
better than Armstead. So
the Saints are considered one of the better offensive lines in the league. And they got wrecked.
Worked.
I
Absolutely.
mean, it wasn't even close. Yeah, Marcus Cannon has graded out pretty good so far this year. Their other tackle, and then their center Justin Britt's graded out very well. So,
Yeah.
I think I don't see anything really that makes me think that they're going to be able to stop what we've seen so far. I think this is a good matchup for the D line. Let's look at the other side: Panthers O-line versus the Texans pass rush. Panthers O-line, we mentioned a little bit, is a little injured, but they're not going up against what you would consider the best pass rush in the league by any means, right?
Any means. Like, okay, so we have Whitney Merciless, a vet, a true vet. Like,
great name.
Yeah,
but
fantastic name as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not too worried about him.
Yeah.
I feel like, Cam Irving's not like the greatest tackle in the world, but
should be able to hold his own.
He should be fine.
Yeah.
Everyone else, honestly, like, it's a toss-up in my opinion. Like, other than I'd say Moten, it's kind of 50-50 right now. I feel like the O-line would be like solid, just like the previous weeks.
They should be able to protect Sam enough in this game.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. Let's look at Panthers receivers versus Texans secondary. I think the secondary for the Texans might be
they're a little hurt right now.
Yeah. Again, we just talked about Justin Reed is on the injury report. Not sure if he's going to play. He's probably their best player in the secondary.
Yeah.
Panthers could, if Sam's got the time, they could really put up some numbers.
Really hurt this team. Yeah. We're going through the matchups. That's why I said what I said earlier, because listen, if Sam has a good game against this secondary, ooh. And then like McCaffrey against this front seven. Oh my goodness. It's a perfect storm, I'm telling you.
It really is. They've got Desmond King, Terrence Mitchell, corners, Vernon Hargraves. That's a name you've heard, but it's kind of average at this point.
Yawn. A whole lot of yawn.
Yeah. Christian Kirksey, linebacker, has graded out well so far this year. He's decent.
He's solid. Their linebacking core is solid. Yeah. Like, they're not world beaters, but they don't suck either.
Yeah. Speaking of linebackers, real quick, just kind of diverting off the matchups. How good does Shaq Thompson look?
Can we talk about number 7, Shaq Thompson?
Yeah.
Can we talk about
Is that all he needed? Was a number change?
I think that's all he needed. Like, because
crap.
First of all, listen, that number 7, it looked like I was a little skeptical of the number change thing. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a little traditional, just a little traditional. I'm not too deep into it, but it's just like we're gonna look like college players, like, okay, but like now that I'm seeing it, it looks really, really good. And Shaq Thompson in that number 7 might be like my favorite number change.
Yeah,
he looks so good. Like when he's like popping people and he was like doing his little flex or whatever with that number 7, it just looks right. Like it just looks right. And he's looked fantastic so far as well. So
he's looked like what we hoped he would look like.
Wanted him to be when we drafted him. Exactly.
I mean, he's and last year kind of having to step into that leadership role at linebacker. Maybe he wasn't ready for it. Didn't look great last year. It looked okay, but he wasn't what we hoped. Yeah. Right. He wasn't what we hoped. This year, man. And Carter too. Jermaine Carter stepped really up. Good.
Remember in camp, it was like this big thing when he switched, and now like he's been performing. So listen, this coaching staff kind of knows what they're doing.
They kind of do.
Saying, fans.
They kind of do. Yeah. Phil Snow, man. Like Phil Snow's he's getting all the love, right now. And this time last year, even a few weeks further down in the season last year, watching this defense play, we were like, Phil Snow, like, is he too old? Can he do NFL? Right. Is he ready for this? And now, like, he's probably the coach that I have the most confidence in.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy how the narrative changes?
Yeah, it really is. I've always been, a fan of giving Rule time. really the whole staff, but giving Rule especially, because he's kind of the centerpiece of the coaching staff, just giving them time to see what they can do. Give them 3 years before we really judge what they're doing. They're ahead of schedule, man. Like they've got players, and it really is just if Darnold works, then that's it. That's the piece,
It's worked out so far.
So far. I wanted to say one more matchup here, and then, if you've got any that you wanted to look at, but Brandon Cooks, he's had a really good season so far for the Texans. I know a lot's going to depend on if Mills can actually get him the ball, but Cooks against Horn or Jackson, not sure who would play on Cooks, but do you see any? Are you worried at all about Brandon Cooks?
I'm not worried about.
You're not worried about Brandon. You're not a Brandon Cooks fan.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful. But
no,
there's no one on this football team that
I know. I'm trying to give him a little bit.
I'm trying. I don't want to underestimate opponents. That's not what we're about. But listen, I'm looking at all of these names, and none of them are popping off the screen for me. None of them.
I understand that. I'm trying to find somebody on their team that worries me a little. I mean, their running backs don't worry me. We just shut Alvin Kamara down, who's one of the top 5 backs in the league. Is Brandon Cooks the best receiver the Panthers have faced this year? You have Corey Davis in week 1. I think Cooks might be better than him.
Is he? I like Corey Davis. Corey Davis is a good player.
I know some people like Corey Davis. I've never been a huge fan of Corey Davis, but
really,
I've never really been a huge fan of Brandon Cooks either.
I've never been like a big Brandon Cooks guy, like ever. It's Ted Ginn 2.0.
Yeah. I'm just trying. They got Phillip Lindsay as a running back. Nobody. It's
nobody.
David Johnson. Is he still in the league? Like, I mean, I actually do I like David Johnson.
I like David Johnson. He's good. He's another true vet. He's been around. He's been around for years. So listen, this defense. Phil Snow. Phil Snow, man. I need to talk about Phil Snow because the scheme that he has set in place is a scheme that he developed last year. See, a lot of people don't understand that. And shout out to my guy, JP Acosta, Pancaked.
Great Twitter follow, by the way.
Great Twitter follow. Football IQ through the roof. Follow that man. But he actually dropped an article about the Panthers defense and how this year there have been more wrinkles in the defense. So there's more variations of certain blitzes and certain zones, and now we're running man because we have the personnel to actually run everything, and so everything is lining up into place, and it's so beautiful, and it's so terrifying because it's the Panthers, and the Panthers aren't supposed to be.
Yeah, we don't know how to handle success very well.
We don't. It terrifies us.
But that was the thing last year, right? They played so much zone, and then they draft this corner who excels at man.
Yeah,
and we're like, okay, well, they better change their whole defense. They better go to playing a man defense if that's what they're going to draft. And that's what they've done. And it looks great. It works. Like, this is what the personnel is for.
And because we have the personnel to do certain things, we're able to send more heat, which is why Brian Burns is able to be even more effective, because when the O-line is thinking of a blitz, you got this guy who runs a freaking 4.40.
He's a beast.
4.45, whatever he runs is ridiculous.
And the knock on him coming out was that he was undersized. Like,
I remember this, and I'm gonna say this now because I'm retired from football and all that. Our D-line coach in college actually told me that Brian Burns wasn't gonna be a good ball player, and I was like, all right. and I'm just gonna say, his rookie year when he balled out, I can say this now. That same year he got fired. So I mean, hey, man,
not a great judge of talent, maybe that.
Man. You said it best, man.
Any other matchups you wanted to discuss here? I mean, we kind of went over most of them, I think.
I'm really trying. I'm really trying to show respect to the Texans. For those who are listening, I'm not trying to be a homer. genuinely don't do this with the Panthers that often.
Yeah.
But this could be really bad, like 35-3, like 42 to like 10.
Hold your prediction.
My fault. I'm not saying that's not my official prediction.
Yeah.
But it could be that bad.
Could be, yeah.
It could be that bad.
Well, Jason, if you feel that strongly, you might want to consider going to mybookie.com and placing a little wager on the Panthers. Winning season has started off hot, but MyBookie is continuing to crank up the heat with a $50,000 Survivor contest. Whether you're a new or existing customer, if you've made a deposit with MyBookie, you'll earn an entry into the $50,000 contest absolutely free. To play, all you have to do is pick one winner a week and keep your streak alive to have a shot at the grand prize. So it's like an eliminator contest, right? That we all play eliminator contests. Start off strong with the Ravens pick against the Lions this week. Baltimore hasn't been beaten by the Lions since Lamar Jackson was in second grade.
Yeah. So I think we know where we go with that one.
Exactly. Or you could take on the Steelers, looking to get back on this, back on their winning streak against the Bengals. Either way, it's simple to play, simple to win, and even if you don't have a ton of betting experience, it's easy to get in. Head to mybookie.ag right now, get in on the competition, and use the promo code MEOW to receive double your first deposit and get an instant access to the $50,000 Survivor pool. Again, that's promo code MEOW, instantly doubling your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, let's get into our predictions. Jerry sent me his predictions. So we're gonna do we'll do our bold predictions first. So Jerry's bold prediction, and you actually mentioned it earlier. I kind of laughed. Is that Davis Mills is going to throw 3 interceptions in this game?
Yeah.
Is that a bold prediction? Is that bold enough?
I mean, like, I feel like people on the outside would be like, "That's a bold prediction."
Yeah.
But knowing what I know, I would say in general, it's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go.
We'll accept that, Jerry. My bold prediction for this game, I think that we're going to have a 200-yard receiver. One of our receivers, I don't know who. I'm not going to box myself in on who. Could be DJ Moore. Could be Robbie Anderson. Could be Christian McCaffrey. One of them is going to have 200 receiving yards in this game.
Wow. Honestly, I could definitely see that happening as well.
Could see it. But you got any bold predictions?
Okay, I think I do have one actually. So my bold prediction is that let's go there. I think that, oh my goodness, I'm really about to say this out loud, and it's so crazy to me.
Do it.
I think that this defense could generate 5 turnovers.
Oh, wow.
5 turnovers this Thursday.
That would be great.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
That would be fun to see.
That's a bold prediction, then.
That's a bold prediction.
There we go.
Jerry, your 3 interceptions. Come on, Jerry. Come on. 3 interceptions.
Step your game up, man.
I like it. All right, game predictions. So again, Jerry did send me his. Panthers 27, Texans 13. Jerry's prediction. Mine's very similar. Panthers 28, Texans 14. So basically the same spread. I think we'll win by a couple of touchdowns. Now you're going to go big here, right? 48-2, something like you're going something crazy.
All right. So that was like best case scenario.
Yeah.
So it's still the Panthers, and there's still going to be some growing pains, and this is still a young team. So my prediction would be, let's go Panthers 28, Texans 10.
Yeah.
28-10.
That's perfectly realistic. We might be giving them too much credit, thinking that they could score 2 touchdowns. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I think you are, to be honest.
Yeah, could be some garbage time in there. you know. All right, Jason. Well, tell us where we can find you, man.
All right, so you can find me personally on Twitter at JasonHewitt50, and you can follow Pancaked at Pancaked Tweets on Twitter as well. Be sure to show love to the Pancaked Podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, and we're also on YouTube. So be sure to like and subscribe on there. And that's all I got. Thank you again for having me on. Love the show.
Of course, man.
Much love.
Yeah, we have you on anytime. You know that.
Sure.
You can find MeowMix on Twitter as well at MeowMix Podcast. You know, Jerry usually writes all this out. I don't have it all. So like and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that. Everywhere you can find Pancaked, you can find MeowMix.
Sure.
And we'll be back on probably Friday morning. I think Jerry's going to be available. So we will recap the game. Hopefully a big Panthers win. But until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.